Today's effort on the w124 project was to reinstall the roof lining. This is the early version or middle version. It's not the late spongy type that peels and falls down. This is the old style that is suspended by rods. I'm quite impressed with their attention to detail. The rear rod, they've got this plastic tray for the sunroof tube and also that sponge that prevents any possible metal-on-metal contact with that rod that supports the rear of the roof lining. They were very serious about preventing any abnormal noises. After that was hooked on, I started to hook on the side parts. These just slot straight into these holes up here. Very easy to do this job. Admittedly, this roof lining is not in the best condition, but it is original to the car, and they don't exactly grow on trees around here, so I'm just using it because I don't really have a choice. It would be nice if someone made these in the aftermarket. I'd probably go ahead and buy one, but this will have to do for now. So I then moved on to the front two sets of hooks, and once that was done, I put in the front bit into the sunroof opening. That just slots into a groove in the sunroof opening, and then the front sides hook in over the top of the sunroof tray. And then there's these stainless steel trims that just clamp down on that. And the top piece that forms the sliding rail that the sunroof travels in holds that down. Now, I'll probably have to take these out again later when I've actually got the lid ready to go in, but this is good enough for now. So both sides are installed. These screws aren't in the best condition, so hopefully I can find some better ones of those as well. It's starting to take shape. It does look a bit wrinkly, but it's not finished yet. So you've got these channel rubber things that go at the top of each doorway. That puts a bit of tension on the roof lining in itself. And then after I did that, I put the rear of the roof lining into the rear window opening. And that just slots into a groove at the back there as well. And then it really starts to take shape after that. You've just got these plastic rivets that pop into holes around the perimeter of the roof lining. Naturally, one was missing. I must have lost it when I removed it. So I'll have to find another one or use a substitute, but I just left that on the B-pillar trim area because those have to be recovered and I have to revisit that later anyway, so there's no real emergency there. After those were installed, I moved on to the handles, and these are just one screw each side, and they're 8mm hex head screws. A driver like this is quite handy for this, and these were very easy to install. Once the screw is all the way in, you just put the cover back on and it clicks in place. And if that vinyl covering is not centered and you have a gap at one end, it does actually slide somewhat on the handle itself. As you can see here, there was a bit of a gap, but I fixed that later. I definitely recommend having clean hands when you do this because you'll get fingerprints on everything. Unfortunately, I didn't think of that at the time. My hands were dirty, but I was lucky. I didn't really get fingerprints on the roof lining. As you can see, there is a small tear at that light opening, but that's been there since I got the car. As I said, it's not the best roof lining. I'm just using what I've got. And those areas above the B-pillar trims will tighten up once the trims are installed. So those wrinkles should disappear. So I then moved on to the sound deadening material at the rear. That basically just hooks back onto the 4 hooks. Now, because I've retrofitted the 2 rear bucket seats instead of the bench seat, I was pleased to notice that the mounts for the center roller door box are already perforated into the mat from the factory. So I didn't have to modify that at all. I just had to push them out. So obviously they use the same mat for a number of cars, or just used the same one for all of them, and removed the perforated sections for whatever car was being used. Mass production for the win. It's made my job easier. I couldn't have cut it that well if I tried. I then wanted to test fit the middle section of carpet, and I used my blue-black w124 as a reference to see where the cable comes through the carpet that connects to the front electric seats. Interestingly, this parking ticket was in the car, still from the previous owner. I don't know how, because I've had this seat out before to clean underneath there. Obviously, I didn't do a very good job and I need to vacuum that again, but nonetheless, I saw where the cable comes out the carpet. And this is the current location of the 2 harnesses that I've installed, because I have retrofitted electric seats into this car. The complete harness is installed all the way from the fuse box, including the factory relay connected exactly as it would have been from the factory. And this is the black carpet that came with the red car. I'm just having a look at where to put the cables. And once again, mass production for the win. They've already got perforated cutouts for the use of electric seats. So I was about to get my knife into these carpets, but fortunately I noticed these and I didn't have to do anything other than push them out. I've left them hinged on one side, so there isn't just a hole there, and you can actually push the carpet back down around the cable and it looks a lot neater. Not that you will ever see it anyway. I haven't bothered to put the clips in around the carpet just in case I have to remove this for any reason. I have got all new ones. They had to be specially ordered from Germany because no one in their right mind has ordered them before, that I'm aware of anyway. So that's looking pretty good for today's effort. I even installed the accelerator pedal. I do need to get myself a new brake pedal pad and the parking brake pad. I thought I had them, but obviously I don't because I can't find them.